everyone, Kay here on my Tennessee homestead, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to freeze yellow squash with blanching, so stay tuned. One of the dishes I was looking forward to having when I moved back to Tennessee after being gone for such a long time was cooked yellow squash. But I didn't grow any summer yellow squash this year, only winter squash. So I went to my farm stand and I asked him for a box. He had about 3/4 of a box. This is about 14 pounds. And we are going to get it washed up with my veggie wash and sliced up for freezing. Okay, we are all set up for slicing, and the size of your slices depend upon your personal preference and what you intend to do with your squash later. For example, if you want to have individual pieces to bread and fry later, you are going to want to cut your slices and lay them out on a freezer paper, on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer, and take them out and put them into your freezer bags. But since I'm cooking family style, a big pot, I am going to put everything together in a big freezer container. So my preference is 1/4 of an inch to about 3/8 of an inch. So let's get started. When I was growing up, both of my grandmothers had big gardens, and we would go down for family dinners, and there would be 10 different bowls, family style, on the table of Crowder peas and green beans and mashed potatoes, cooked yellow squash, cream style corn. We called it fried corn, but it's not probably what you think of as fried corn. It's not fried, it's cooked in a skillet. And I just absolutely loved that. And you do not see that when you get outside of the South. So now that I'm here, I am going to be serving and eating family style. Oh, and of course, we would have a big platter, literally a platter of fresh sliced tomatoes. And they'd be so juicy that you could literally pick up the platter and drink the juice afterwards. That's when you know it's fresh from the garden. I've grown plenty of tomatoes this year. In fact, I have all of these to take care of. There's probably 20 pounds in there, and I've got another 5 or 10 pounds over there. So that's next. If you're new to my channel, I had an urban garden in Los Angeles for 8 years, and now I'm on a large property in Tennessee building a sustainable homestead and growing my own food, as much of it as I can. So I hope you'll subscribe and click that bell for notifications. Scroll down and hit all, so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And please hit that like button while you're at it. I'm continuing to slice my squash, but unfortunately I don't have a huge double boiler just this size, and you can't fill it all the way up because you want the boiling water not to boil over, and you also want to cook all the top pieces of squash. So I'm going to have to work in batches. And I'm also waiting for water to filter through my Brita filter because I like to filter the city water here. And you're going to need to have your double boiler have a rolling boil of hot water, and you will put your vegetables in, set it in the double boiler. It will stop boiling. It will come back to a boil, and set your timer for 3 minutes. And as soon as your timer goes off, then you put it into cold water to stop the cooking process. So while my water is filtering, I'm going to keep chopping. Okay, we've got a rolling boil, and we're going to put in our vegetables. I think I'm going to take a couple of these out because I want to make sure they all get cooked. We're just going to wait for this to come back up to a rolling boil. Okay, it's just coming up to a rolling boil. And I'm going to put the lid on because I've got them filled to the top of the water, and I want to make sure the top gets equally cooked with the bottom. And time that for 3 minutes. You're going to put this in your cold water. There we go. Great. So now we're dunking those, and very quickly they're going to cool off. Stop the cooking process. And then I am putting them in the strainer. Our water is still at a rolling boil, so batch number 2 is going in. Ooh, that seems a little like too much, so let's take it down a bit. Should be able to get this right pretty soon. Okay, those pieces look great, and we're just going to put them into a freezer container. This smells so good. Okay, that's 3 minutes. What you want to do is stop the cooking process by dunking it in ice water. Okay. I'm going to fill it up again. Well, they did hold. That one held the whole first load. I squeezed the rest of them in there. You probably won't be freezing 10 or 15 pounds of this at one time, but I just wanted to get it done because I have so much more to do with tomatoes and eggplant. And I didn't want to miss out on the squash harvest. I'll let that cool off a bit. Alrighty. Batch number 3. Keep doing that. My ice is in the way. Thanks for spending this time with me. I hope it was helpful and beneficial, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Good night. If you enjoyed this video, please watch these. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see you in the next video.